Today's lesson is Parisian Romance, American Freedom, A Tale of Two Monuments. Hi, everybody. My name's Roger.
And my name is Helen.
And today we're going to continue talking about either the Eiffel Tower or the Statue of Liberty. I think we're probably going to be talking about both because they are related to each other. I mentioned last time that Gustave Eiffel worked on both of them. And also they have to do with France because, of course, the Eiffel Tower is in France and the Statue of Liberty was a gift from France to the United States.
Right, and the title here, or at least part of it, is A Tale of Two Monuments. So we know that monuments are things that represent important events or people, and the Eiffel Tower and the Statue of Liberty both represent important moments in history, American and Parisian history. However, A Tale of Two Monuments is also a play on the title of a famous book written by Charles Dickens, which is A Tale of Two Cities.
Exactly. I don't think the tale is about Paris and New York, but of course, you can check out Dickens' book some other time. But right now, of course, we're going to be spending some time talking about the Statue of Liberty. So let's begin our lesson by listening to the first part, and we'll be right back.
The Statue of Liberty, an impressive monument located in New York Harbor, is an instantly recognizable symbol of freedom. This grand sculpture, designed by Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi and built with the help of Gustave Eiffel, was a gift from France to the U.S. Dedicated in 1886, it was intended to celebrate the enduring friendship between the two nations as well as America's core values.
大家好，第一部分我们来介绍形容词 recognizable， 它的意思是可以认出的、可识别的。例如 Jane wasn't recognizable after her makeover. Jane 改头换面之后让人认不得了。又或者说 John wears similar clothes every day, so he's always recognizable. John 每天都穿类似的衣服，所以很好认。另外补充这个字的动词 recognize, R-E-C-O-G-N-I-Z-E, recognize. 它指的是认出、辨识。举例来说Tim recognized one of his old classmates in the supermarket. Tim 在超市里认出一位他的老同学。再举一个例子 The image software recognizes faces. 这款影像软体会辨识面孔。下一个我们看到形容词 enduring, 意思是持久的或不朽的。例如 Having a job you like will give you an enduring feeling of happiness.拥有一份你喜欢的工作会让你有持久的幸福感。或是 The painter has had an enduring impact on the local art scene. 这位画家对当地艺术界的影响历久不衰。另外补充这个字的动词 endure, E-N-D-U-R-E, endure. 它指的是忍受、忍耐。举例来说Steve endured years of poverty before becoming successful. Steve 在功成名就前忍受了数年的贫困生活。再举一个例子 I couldn't endure the noise any longer. 我再也不能忍受那个噪音了。
The Statue of Liberty, an impressive monument located in New York Harbor, is an instantly recognizable symbol of freedom. So indeed, the Statue of Liberty is a monument that almost everyone recognizes and almost everyone knows that it's located in New York Harbor, New York City. If not, at least they know that it's located in the United States, and it's instantly recognizable. When you recognize something, it means that you know what it is as soon as you see it. So if something is recognizable, it can be recognized, it can be known. And is it recognizable as a particular thing of representing something specifically? Yes, it's a symbol of freedom. So it's recognizable as representing the idea of freedom.
Right, and recognizable, of course, comes from the verb to recognize, which means when somebody sees something or someone, they know what or who it is. You might be walking on the street and you might see somebody, they wave at you, but I don't recognize this person. Who is this person? And then later you realize, oh, yeah, that was the person I worked with 2 years ago. I haven't seen that person since then. So here, of course, the Statue of Liberty is recognizable or recognized by people as a symbol of freedom because she's holding up that torch and she's got the book of the Declaration of Independence in her arm. So yes, indeed, that does represent freedom. And this grand sculpture designed by Frederick Auguste Bartholdi and built with the help of Gustave Eiffel was a gift from France to the U.S. Okay, so that tells us some more about the Statue of Liberty. We're describing it as being a grand sculpture. A sculpture, of course, is a work of art in three-dimensional form. It could be the figure of a person. It could be something more abstract. But in any case, the Statue of Liberty is a sculpture. I would not describe the Eiffel Tower as a sculpture. That's a tower. And in this particular case, though, because the Statue of Liberty looks like a woman, I would think of it as a sculpture.
So this grand sculpture, the Statue of Liberty, was designed by Bartholdi and built with the help of Eiffel. And it was also a gift from France to the U.S. And this gift was dedicated in 1886. So when you dedicate something to somebody, you say at official ceremony that this thing goes to this person or this organization, and it is usually connected, has a special connection with a particular person or thing.
Right, and of course, this particular sculpture or this statue, this monument, was intended to celebrate the enduring friendship between France and the United States. If something's enduring, well, it lasts for a long time. The verb, of course, is to endure. And so, yes, indeed, this particular statue was intended to celebrate that friendship. And also, it celebrates America's core values, which, of course, is freedom, freedom of speech, freedom to do this, do that, and to not be oppressed by some dictatorship.
Right. Core values describe the most important beliefs of a person or a group of people or a company. So, for instance, if you're looking for a job with an organization, you might want to look up that organization or that company's core beliefs or core values, I should say, before you decide whether you want to join that company.
Okay, that brings us to the end of the first part of our lesson for today. It's time now to listen to the second part.
Standing tall at a height of 46 meters, the statue depicts Libertas, the Roman goddess of liberty. The torch that she holds high above her head represents enlightenment and knowledge, and the tablet in her left hand displays the date of the U.S. Declaration of Independence. At her feet lies a broken chain commemorating the end of slavery after the American Civil War.
第二部分我们看到单字 depict， 它是动词，指的是描述、描绘、刻画。例如 The novel depicts Greece as an idyllic paradise. 那部小说把希腊描述成田园风光的天堂。又或者说 Jeremy's paintings depict images of his hometown. Jeremy 的画作描绘着自己家乡的样貌。接下来我们看到名词 torch， 指的是火炬、火把。举例来说 We lit a torch to help guide us through the dark cave. 我们点亮火炬，以帮助我们穿过黑暗的洞穴。再举一个例子 We wandered along the path that was lit by torches. 我们沿着被火把照亮的小路漫步。另外，这个字也可以做动词使用，意思是放火、纵火。例如 The man torched his own house in order to get the insurance money. 那个男人为了保险金而放火烧了他自己的家。又或者说 The criminal torched the car he stole to cover the evidence. 那名罪犯烧毁了他偷来的汽车以掩盖证据。
Standing tall at a height of 46 meters, the statue depicts Libertas, the Roman goddess of liberty. So that's one thing that maybe a lot of people don't know, which is that the statue actually depicts a particular character, a particular figure who is Libertas. That's the name of a Roman goddess. And this Roman goddess represents liberty or freedom. So in English, we tend to say freedom when we want to talk about the lack of constraints, the ability to do whatever we want. Liberty would be the Latin rooted word for freedom. It has the same meaning, but it's used in French and it's used in Latin-based languages where freedom doesn't exist. But for some reason, when we talk about the Statue of Liberty, we say the Statue of Liberty, we don't say the Statue of Freedom.
Right. Liberty is a more specific term. It talks about being free in a society and you don't have a dictatorship telling you what to do, what you can say, and things like that. So, of course, she's the goddess of liberty, Libertas. And the torch that she holds high above her head represents enlightenment and knowledge, and the tablet in her left hand displays the date of the U.S. Declaration of Independence, which, of course, as you know, was July 4th in 1776. Now, of course, something that burns is called a torch. Also in the UK, I believe, light that you hold in your hand that's battery-powered is called a torch, whereas in the United States, we say a flashlight. But here she's holding up a torch, which is something that has a fire burning in it, and that, of course, lights the way, or at least it did in old times, and she's holding it high above her head. That represents enlightenment and knowledge. And then she's got this tablet, which is like a flat piece of something that has something written on it, a tablet, and it has the date of the U.S. Declaration of Independence.
Yes, and at her feet lies a broken chain commemorating the end of slavery after the American Civil War. So slavery is a system where people are allowed to own other people as property. And that was a part of American history for a long period of American history. However, slavery, that system, came to an end after the American Civil War. So the American Civil War was a war that was fought between two sides in America, typically characterized as the North and the South. And then the South lost to the North and thus ended slavery because most of slavery took place in the southern part of the United States during that period.
Right. And here to commemorate just means to recognize that something happened. You show respect for that sort of thing. And you, of course, don't forget that it exists. And again, we want to commemorate the end of slavery. Slavery was bad, and we want to celebrate the fact that slavery ended. And of course, as Helen said, it did end after the American Civil War. Okay, that brings us to the end of the second part of our lesson. Let's move on now to the third and final part.
It's no surprise that the Statue of Liberty has come to embody the spirit of the American dream and even America itself. It has symbolized hope and opportunity for countless immigrants arriving on American shores in search of a better life. Today, thousands of tourists flock to the statue each year to look upon it and celebrate the American ideals that it represents.
It's no surprise that the Statue of Liberty has come to embody the spirit of the American dream and even America itself. So we saw before that, unlike the Eiffel Tower, the Statue of Liberty is very symbolic because many of its elements symbolize specific things. The fact that the statue itself is a depiction of the Roman goddess Libertas, that she is holding a torch, which represents knowledge, and there is a broken chain at her feet, and the broken chain represents or symbolizes the end of slavery. So it's not surprising that this statue has come to embody the spirit of America or of the American dream. To embody something means to be an example of a particular idea. So America can embody the idea of freedom. It's an example of the particular idea of freedom. When you embody something, you're usually talking about a quality that's positive. You can also say that a person embodies evil. However, embody usually refers to something that's good.
Indeed, and when we use the word embody, we often include the spirit of, embodies the spirit of something. So in this particular case, the Statue of Liberty embodies the spirit of the American dream, and it also embodies the spirit of America itself. It goes on to say it has symbolized hope and opportunity for countless immigrants arriving on American shores in search of a better life. Okay, as you know, of course, in the early 20th century, lots of immigrants came over to the United States from Europe, and of course, they were poor, they were tired, they were hungry, so they were looking for more opportunities. And so, of course, America was a beacon of hope for a lot of those people, so they immigrated to the United States, and the Statue of Liberty is the first thing they saw when they sailed into New York Harbor on their way to Ellis Island to be processed. So again, the Statue of Liberty symbolized hope and opportunity for countless immigrants arriving to America. Of course, immigrants come from different areas now, not so much from Europe anymore, but they come from Asia more often nowadays. I don't believe there's a Statue of Liberty welcoming immigrants in San Diego or in San Francisco.
Yes, and we could say that immigration to the United States has changed a lot over the past few decades. It's not as it once was when people arrived in America and they saw hope and a new life. Today, everything is a lot more dangerous and a lot more precarious.
And let's wrap up our explanation today by looking at the last sentence. It says, today, thousands of tourists flock to the statue each year to look upon it and celebrate the American ideals that it represents. So, yes, indeed, lots of people go there. We're saying they flock to the statue. And a flock, of course, can refer to a large group of birds. It can also refer to a large group of sheep, a flock of sheep, or a flock of seagulls. We're talking about a large group of tourists, and we're using this as a verb here. They flock to the statue. In other words, lots of people go there every year. I think you need to take a boat to get out there, and they go there to look on it or look upon it, and they also want to celebrate the American ideals that it represents. Helen, you lived in New York for a long time. Did you ever go to the Statue of Liberty?
Yes, in fact, I have. I went there many years ago, I think over 30 years ago, and back then I was able to get up to the top via a spiral staircase. I don't know if the staircase is still open or if people can still go to the top.
Yeah, you could go actually inside the crown of the Statue of Liberty. I did go there many years myself. I went there with a man who was from Texas. His family immigrated from Mexico, and I think it was quite a moving experience for him because his family had immigrated to the United States from Mexico to Texas. Even though he didn't go through New York Harbor, he still thought that the statue represented the things that it's supposed to represent. Okay, that brings us to the end of today's lesson. It's time for us now to listen to Hanny.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第3部分的第一句写到 It's no surprise that the Statue of Liberty has come to embody the spirit of the American dream and even America itself. 自由女神像成为体现美国梦的精神，甚至是美国本身，并不令人意外。那首先我们要介绍的是It is no surprise 或是 It is little surprise 加上 that 子句可以表达什么什么不令人意外。句型当中这个 surprise 是当名词表示令人惊讶的事，那么 it 是虚主词用来代替后面的 that 子句，所以这样的句型就是表达说 that 子句所描述的事情毫不令人意外。举例来说 Alice has always wanted to help people, so it's no surprise that she became a social worker. Alice 一直想帮助人，所以她成为一名社工并不令人意外。好，那也补充一下 It is hardly surprising 或是 It is not surprising 或者是 There's no surprise, there's little surprise 等等，这些后面都可以接 that 子句去表达难怪怎么样什么什么不令人意外的意思。然后我们要再补充另外2个也是意思差不多的句型哦，一个是 It comes as no surprise 或是 It comes as little surprise 加 that 子句。那我们看到 come as a surprise 是指令人惊讶，叫人跌破眼镜。那 it comes as no surprise 或是 it comes as little surprise 再搭配 that 子句就可以表达某件事不令人意外，某件事在意料之中。另一个要补充的句型是 It's no wonder 或是 little wonder 或是 small wonder 再加 that 子句，也可以表达难怪怎么样，什么不足为奇，不令人惊讶。这时候这个句型里面的 it 和 that 其实都可以省略，你就可以只用 no wonder, small wonder, little wonder 加主词加动词来表达。举例来说，He's humorous, charming, and easygoing. No wonder everyone loves him. 他幽默迷人又随和，难怪大家都喜爱他。另外要介绍的是 come to 加动词，这是表达说经过一段时间或漫长过程后开始怎么样怎么样，逐渐变成怎么样，或是发展成怎么样。那这通常是在描述经过一段时间后演变的结果。那么课文它用到 has come to embody 点点点点点，是表达说已逐渐体现怎么样怎么样的语义哦。好，那我们来造个例句。Her parents didn't like the dog at first, but they eventually came to consider it part of the family. 一开始他爸妈不喜欢那只狗，但最后他们逐渐将它视为家庭的一份子。好，那么以上就是今天重点整理，我们来回顾今天单字吧。
Sculpture. The museum visitors admired the tiny exact details of the sculpture. Dedicate.The park was dedicated to the firefighters who tragically lost their lives in the accident. Enduring. Luther and Martin's enduring friendship has lasted for more than 40 years now. Depict. The film vividly depicts the horrors of war. Torch. After lighting the torch, the knight walked slowly into the dark cave. Slavery. It may seem hard to believe,But slavery continues to exist in some places even now. Immigrant. New York City is home to immigrants from countries around the world.
Discussion Starter starts now!
Here's our discussion starter for today. The question is, would you prefer to visit the Eiffel Tower or the Statue of Liberty, and why?
I'd rather see the Eiffel Tower since that means I would be in Paris and I would be able to enjoy all of the cafes and restaurants, so I could do other things aside from seeing the Eiffel Tower.
Well, of course, I've been to the Statue of Liberty before, so I should not say I prefer to visit the Statue of Liberty. Let's pretend, however, that I've never been there before. So, yeah, I would prefer to visit the Statue of Liberty. I like structures that represent people. I understand the Statue of Liberty is made out of copper and that it was made, it looked like a penny or a $1 NT coin. It was that actual color, but over time, of course, as you know, copper kind of turns green, and that's the color it is today.
Well, everyone, today's article has come to an end, and I sure hope you enjoy reading along with us. I am Helen.
I am Roger.
See you next time.